Yeah, great. So I hear you have a plugin that you wanted to show me.
Yeah, so I got this new plugin that's called, it's not so new actually, it's released in 2023. It's called Oxid by Full Bucket. It's a Solina clone, and it's a pretty good reproduction sound. And I know you've got one of these, a real one, right?
Yeah, well, I'm the Behringer hardware clone of the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we did a review on that earlier.
Yes, check out that review. We should link that. Um,
Yeah, we should link.
so hey, so the controls on here look very similar to what I remember seeing on yours. So there's the attack and release, which I think I remember seeing
Yep.
on yours, right?
Yeah, on mine they're called crescendo and sustain.
Mhm.
Yes, crescendo is what they call attack, and sustain is what they call release.
And then there's this one just has four different voices. You got bass, cello, viola, and violin. I think that matches, right? And then
Yeah, mine's called contrabass, cello, viola, and violin. Yeah,
in addition, I think you've got trumpet, right?
yeah, trumpet and horn.
Yeah, so I don't have trumpet and horn, but I do have this synthesizer section, which might sound kind of like a trumpet. So that'll be interesting. But let me just give you kind of like an overview of some of the sounds that are in the box. So these are just some of the presets here. This is the first one called Phased Orchestra. And what I like about this one is that it's got a fair amount of attack, but it also has a long sustain, so you can use it as both like a pad and a lead at the same time. So all in one sound.
To me, that sounds a lot like having all four voices on with the modulation and the phaser, probably at kind of a pretty fast phasing rate with a very short attack and a longer delay. So this is what I patched in.
Yeah, they're very similar. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool sound.
So this is something that's a little more synthetic. It's got like this kind of echo gig. I can hear a resonant filter going on. Um, it's got this section down here, which I think is probably like inside the Behringer Solina, but there's a ADSR envelope that can control a VCF filter, and you'll notice they've got the resonance cranked on this here, so it gives it that really kind of like tone, kind of synthesized sound to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of a fun one.
Yeah, that's definitely not in mine, and I don't think that was in the original either. The reason being that this is like a 42 voice, polyphony instrument, and so it's not feasible 1970s 80s hardware to have a VCF for each.
So they would need a VCF for each oscillator.
Yeah, I mean, if you play two notes, I mean, do you hear that kind of whine on both of them, or is it just pick one of them?
So listen to this low note. It's definitely got a low resonance. This high one, high resonance. If I do the low note and then the high note, hold the high note, play the low note. I'm actually hearing the high note repeat. Low, high.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, so maybe it is just one VCF. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's often the way it's done in with synthesizers. If you can have a single VCF with a polyphonic synthesizer, it's not truly polyphonic. It's panaphonic when you do that,
Okay.
or paraphonic. And so yeah, I could patch my Solina into my Arturia, for example, and achieve that same sort of thing.
There's definitely differences between the hardware and the virtual instruments, right? And they each have their advantages. This certainly isn't like a Solina replacement, and Solina doesn't replace this. It's kind of interesting to see, what the two have.
Right. Sure.
This is one here, the trumpet sound. Like I know you've got a trumpet sound in your Solina, and I don't.
Yeah.
It's just what do you think of this sound? Does that sound like your trumpet?
It sounds like the horn with modulation. Without the modulation. So you can put the phaser and the modulation. Maybe it's like that.
Yeah, I'm hearing them both. Yeah, so on this one, we've got the phaser over here on the right-hand side, and you can control the speed, the feedback, and also what it's being applied to as well here. And anyway, there's just like a few more routing options that they add in here, but you know, it does make it a little more complicated to get the sound that you want. But it's nice that they have the patches so you can kind of find things. And they're pretty wild. Like some of these, like this blips one. Yeah, that's pretty wild, right?
It sounds like there's a significant echo on there. Is that?
Yeah. So over in this delay section here, we can change that delay to be longer. Yeah, see, that's really long.
Nice. Does it have a beat matching?
I don't think
option?
It does. It's more like kind of the old analog style. You know, you turn the knob until you get the tempo you want. Yeah, it doesn't seem to sync to the DAW's tempo, which is different for you know, most modern synthesizers are going to have that option.
Most hardware also has an option these days to sync to the clock. All of my synthesizers do that, except I guess the Solina doesn't. I mean, it has a rate knob. But the nice thing about having a physical dedicated rate knob, you don't have to dive into the plugin in order to, you know, find that knob and then use your mouse, and you know, it's a little more accessible to have a dedicated knob.
Yeah, that's one thing that's nice about hardware is the accessibility of it. Yeah, I mean, like I could go and map all of these to a MIDI controller, but it's nice just having that, not having to do that work, you know, or having to dive into the plugin, like you said, and you know, adjust the LFO speed or the rate. So in this initialization plugin or preset here, it just has the raw sound. So this is the bass here.
Oh yeah, sounds just like my contrabass.
You can almost hear the, yeah, it sounds very similar. Yours goes, yeah, it's pretty deep. And then the cello. And the viola. Play it up enough. And the violin. It's very synthetic. Oh, that's viola and violin. I'm sorry. It's the violin by itself. The other one was the cello plus the violin. But yeah, so
on the original Solina and on my hardware emulation, with the cello, it only goes up to this low C. So if G. This is the highest note that the cello will play. It doesn't go up with the same sort of time.
And then I'm playing the next note, but it's not making any sound. If I turn on the violin, the viola playing that note instead of the cello. That's more clear. So the cello and the viola actually have the same tone on mine. The difference is like whether or not it's mapped to the bass voice or to both voices.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess the octave is the same, but on mine the viola is
1 octave higher.
much more high frequency. So that's the viola. Mm-hmm. So it's the same pitch.
Oh yeah.
But there's definitely more high frequency.
Yeah. So it's a pretty versatile plugin. I mean, you can do a lot with it. Let me just play a little tune. Try something.
Sure. a very versatile instrument. Yeah, you have you have some nice soft tones as well as some really sharp things. Yeah, that's one thing I really like about Solina. And the plugin that you have, you certainly have more diversity than what I can get with my Solina by itself, and especially the ADSR. Like your virtual instrument has a much crisper attack than mine. Even when I have it at the sharpest attack, I mean it's still relatively slow, especially on like the cello.
All right.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for showing that to me. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to hear it on a Twinsies song soon.
Yeah, will do. All right. Well, like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe, everybody.
And let us know what you want to hear next.